Another person was just about to enter, and they nearly ran into each other. This man probably wouldn't make way for the person, considering his personality. But when he noticed who that person was, he stepped aside. Oh, yeah, you do look pretty vulgar there. With your skull tie. The person looked as vulgar as the other men. He was wearing a black suit with sunglasses on. He wasn't that big, but his stern look was very intimidating. It was clear at a glance that he was a gangster, and a professional one at that. Is this where all the gangsters go to have their tea and do their business? And Kasai is over here as well. The man who was behaving badly earlier looked a little nervous in front of him. As Ritsuko finished paying the check, she noticed the man in the suit. The man in the suit said nothing. He just raised his chin as if saying, "Screw you." Ritsuko and the others bowed to him and left the shop in a hurry. The proprietor noticed the man in the suit, also greeting him with a bow. Who could he have been? He appeared sedate compared to the other men, but he must have been dangerous because he made even them step aside. Everyone in the shop thought the same thing and tried not to look at him. The man in the suit looked around and found the menu on the wall. The proprietor walked up to him hesitantly.
Master. はい。何か部長報がございましたでしょうか。この日替わりデザートのスイートなんとかというのは今日はやっているのか。いえ、本当は今日はやってないんですが、どうしてもとおっしゃるんでしたら特別にご用意を。無理なら無理と言ってくれればいい。出直す。
ほら葛西、特別にご用意って言ってくれてるじゃないですか。ここまで来てみっともない。
The girl seemed to be the only one who couldn't read the heavy atmosphere in the shop, and she came in laughing cheerfully. It was Mion Sonozaki's twin sister, Shion. We better be careful, we got too many colorful-haired anime people in the shop. Somebody's gonna recognize somebody else as the main character. Shion pushed Kasai into the store while he hesitated. She looked at a girl who was sitting down and stopped in her tracks.
あれ？やっぱりそうだ。ハロロー。レナさんじゃないですか。こんにちは。
あ、しーちゃん？
こんなとこで会うなんてびっくりです。あれ？お一人？ひょっとして誰かと待ち合わせ？お姉かな？いやいや、ひょっとしてケイちゃんか
な？しーちゃん、その連れの人は？
葛西のこと？まあ、私のボディーガードとかを持っといてください。命の危険が迫ったら葛西が守ってくれるんだよね。
それがお望みでしたら命に代えてでも。
うわー、葛西、あと20も若かったらやばいかもだね。顔は怖いけど面白いやつです。こちらはね、竜宮レナさん、お姉のお友達。
葛西です。よろしく。
葛西さん、さっきすれ違った人たちは知り合いですか？
Oh, the highway going straight through the middle of the shop opened again. Kasai nodded, indicating that he was familiar with them.
誰？私は全然あんなの見たことないけど。
男は北条哲平。ちょいと礼儀知らずのロックダナス。
That's a great way to describe him. Shion seemed to know who he was once she heard the name Hojo.
女の人の方は？
間宮里奈。源氏名だと思いました。確か律子って名前だったかと。フラワーロードの店の一つで働いてる従業員です。
葛西さん、里奈さんとその北条さんはどういう人たちなんですか？ とても仲が良さそうに見えました。
北条は確かリナとは深い仲
Oh, nice.
たちの悪い連中ですので
Yeah, don't get involved with those
関わり
people.
合い
They're
にな
bad.
られない方がいいと思います。
どうたちが悪いんですか？
Rena pressed him for the answer, and Kasai seemed to back down a little from that pressure.
女の私生活には触れないのが仁義ってもんです。
どうたちが悪いんですか？
それはご勘弁を。
どうたちが悪いんですか？
Rena kept asking the same question until she got an answer. Shion sensed how desperate Rena was, and cut into the conversation.
葛西、意地悪しないで教えてあげなさいよ。興味本位で聞いてるわけじゃなさそうだしさ。ね、レナさん。
There was a tension developing between Rena and Kasai. Shion seemed to be the only one who couldn't read the mood. Kasai finally opened his mouth.
あの二人はたちの悪いろくでなし
The worst. Like, if you ever had any way of knowing them, you should unknow them.
恐喝と博打で生計を立ててると聞いています。詐欺行為もやるって話で。
詐欺ってどんな？
あいつらの詐欺ってのは、まあ何？結婚詐欺ってやつですか？要するに男の人に言い寄っていい感じになったところで相棒の男が乱入して俺の女に何しやがるって金を巻き上げる古典的恐喝です。
Oh, that sounds oddly familiar to what we're dealing with right now.
根こそぎ巻き上げようっていうクズどもです。最近でかい相手を引っ掛けたらしいと噂になっています。
じゃあそりゃあどちら様か存じないけど気の毒なことで。でもまあ鼻の下を伸ばした代償なわけだし自業自得。
そんな言い方はないもんです。男は時にコロッと女に騙されちまうもんですよ。
ほう、何それ。葛西をコロッと騙した女って誰？マスター、デザートは私と葛西とあとレナさんでって。あれ？
今お帰りになりましたよ。
Rena was already gone. The door, which had just closed, looked as if it was the only thing that knew where she went. When I got home, the door was locked. I used my key to get in, and found a note in the living room. Something's come up, so I have to go. I'm going to eat out tonight, is what the note said. This wasn't the first time he'd done something like this. Each time he only told me he had to go to Okinomiya for something. But I knew the real reason, because I heard him talking on the phone once. Rina-san must have had some free time between jobs, and asked him out to have dinner together. I heaved a sigh, looked at the new living room I hated, and went to my room. I thought back over to what I just heard at the coffee house. I tried to rationalize the meaning of her actions there. Maybe she had to pretend to be a bad person because she was being threatened by the man. But even after the man she called Te-chan, left the table, she continued to threaten the guys and push them into signing the loan contract immediately. If she was threatened to play along with the man, she wouldn't have had done that. If she was pretending to be a bad person, she could have shown a little bit of mercy or sympathy when he left her alone with him. It's like holding water in a bowl you made with your hands. No matter how sturdy you made the bowl, water would leak from your fingers. Mercy and sympathy leak out from you. But nothing, not even a drop of water, leaked from Rina-san. Her hands weren't even moist. They were all dried up. There was no water that could leak through those hands. Rina-san was threatening those guys as much as the man was. Neither was leading the other along. They were doing it together. That was it. Rina-san is a bad person. My brain cells accepted the idea with applause. After all, I always hated Rina-san. I just couldn't accept the feeling because my father liked her. But at that moment, I could finally accept it. She's a bad person just like my mother. She's an existence that will ruin everything and destroy my father's happiness just by being with him. But I wonder if my father would understand that Rina-san is a bad person if I told him so. My father likes her so much that he would jump over a cliff if she asked him to. He thinks everything she does or says is great, and he interprets everything about her in a positive way. He protects her and praises her without her asking him to. I'm not a kid anymore. I understand how a woman can tame a man. It's different from love. Love is about trying to build a relationship. Taming is just a way of satisfying the lust to dominate. She's just trying to make him into her slave. Women can deceive men, even my father. They can use dirty methods to ensnare men like they're following a manual. It's the weak point all men are born with. Even with a strong will, they can't resist it. That's why we hate those women who exploit that weak point to deceive men. That's why I couldn't bring myself to like Rina-san. For the sake of argument, let's assume I acknowledged an unreciprocated love like that. But that would only be as long as it was love. If it wasn't love, if it was just a method to threaten and squeeze money out of him, I would never forgive her. I remember their conversation at the coffee house. Rina-san said that my father is a big spender. In fact, I think he spends more money without hesitation than before he met Rina-san. I was happy that he started to regain an interest in going out into the world again, but now I don't know whether I should be happy or not. He controls the money of the Ryugu family overall, but since I do the grocery shopping, he often gives me his bank book so that I can withdraw money. Because of that, I know where he keeps his bank book, his personal seal, and other important stuff. They're in one of his drawers, which he usually locks. I know where he hides the key, and I know the combination of the cash box inside the drawer. He might be coming back soon, so I felt a little nervous. But I had to make sure. I opened the cash box without some banknotes, personal seal stamps, and unused postcards. I removed everything from the cash box to get at the bank books. Then, I found something new. On the bottom of the box, there was a bundle of new 10,000 yen bills. Its thickness wasn't something I could ignore. There was also a paper wrapper that looked like it had been bundling the bills. The wrapper had a stamp on it that said it was a bundle of 1,000,000 yen. He usually kept some cash at home, because it was troublesome to go to the bank every time he needed money. But it was usually around 100,000 to 200,000 yen at most. He's never kept such a big amount of money at home before, because he knows it's unsafe. The extraordinary amount of 10,000 yen bills was abnormally intimidating. I tried to open the bank book, but my fingers got numb all of a sudden. A part of me was trying to deny the things I heard at the coffee house. It wasn't because I wanted to defend my father, or even Rina-san. It was because I didn't want to believe my father was the husband in Hinamizawa the blackmailers were talking about. I opened the bank book, and it was covered with blood. The last time I saw it was about 2 or 3 months ago. It shows countless withdrawals since that day. I probably wouldn't normally understand what those numbers meant. But I felt in that moment as if the 10 different digits were speaking to me. They were a series of cruel digits. It starts with some understandable expenses that I assume represent dinners or something. But then the amount of money starts to become nice round numbers, like a 5 or a 10. I can tell by looking at the dates he withdrew money that he wanted to have a certain amount of cash on hand when he went out with Rina-san. Among those expenses, a big number appeared all of a sudden. It was too much money to spend on a date. Hundreds of thousands of yen. I looked at the date of the withdrawal and traced it back in my memory. I remembered. Around that time, Rina-san was talking about moving into a new apartment. I know the market rate of rental apartments in Okinomiya. You need to put down 2 safety deposits and 2 payments of key money in order to rent an apartment. That amount of withdrawal sounded reasonable now. He paid the whole down payment for her new apartment. After that, big numbers appeared one after another. I could tell they were for congratulatory gifts for a new apartment or something. The numbers got bigger and bigger. It looked like at first he was withdrawing only the amount of money needed, but then he started withdrawing big amounts all at once because he knew he was going to use it someday anyway. The change meant only one thing. He lost his sense of the value of money. The balance kept going down, and I started feeling anxious about what's going to happen if he continued spending money like that. But then I saw a deposit of a big amount of money into the account. Where did that money come from? There was only one thing I could think of. I opened the other bank book. It was easy, like a puzzle for kids. It was like playing with an easy jigsaw puzzle that comes with huge pieces that you don't even have to put together to see what the whole picture looks like. My father was using money from his time deposits. In other words, the settlement my mother paid my father when she divorced him. To him, it's cursed money. I understand if he wanted to use it to get a new love. But that was just an excuse to use the money from his time deposits. Money is money. Even though it's his divorce alimony, it's still important money for our future. Even though it's cursed money to him, that doesn't mean he can waste it. Big expenses started appearing one after another. There are many expenses, upwards of 6 digits. For some reason, I could immediately tell they were for buying electric appliances and furniture. He must have been buying everything she asked him to. If from the beginning, Rina-san was only seeing to check if he could end up being a big catch, she must have been trying to find out how much money she could squeeze out of him. And my father bought her anything she wanted, no matter how expensive it was. So she probably thinks of him as the perfect catch now. The numbers in the bank book told me so. The simple numbers and dates in the bank book had started talking to me. Around the time he started withdrawing big amounts of money, Rina-san started coming home to the house more often, and she also started spending the night. To Rina-san, my father was at first just a guy who spends big money, but around that time she landed her big catch. My father used to refer to her as my friend in Okinomiya at first, but he started referring to her as Rina-san around that time. This is partially his fault, but he was betrayed by his beloved wife, and he was feeling hurt and down for a long time. It's also partially my fault. That's why I didn't want to blame him. And he's not that good looking either. There's no way he's immune to women. He must have not been able to resist an attractive lady who aggressively approached him when he was feeling down. He's crazy about Rina-san, and he can see nothing other than her. I can't blame him, because Rina-san trained him to be that way. I put the bank books and other things back into the cash box. This cash box is just like my father's heart. Rina-san is eating up the contents. What should I do? Think, Rinna-ryugu. Should I tell him about Rina-san's scheme? No, that probably wouldn't do anything. The whole point of taming an animal is that it won't run away from its owner, even when the door is wide open. My father probably won't leave his cage even if I open the door. should I confront Rina-san about her plot when he's with her? The results would be the same. Rina-san would run behind his back. He'd probably try to protect her. If she pressed her breast against his back, he'd protect her no matter what. I couldn't make this a problem between me and him. First of all, I was trying to get rid of Rina-san for his sake. If we got mad at each other, it would give the advantage to Rina-san. It would be like I was putting myself into her trap. Then that meant I couldn't make him do anything. If I couldn't make him break up with Rina-san, I'd have to talk to Rina-san directly. So instead of making my father fight, I'd have to fight in his place. But how? That guy, Kasai-san, who was with Shi-chan today, seemed to know the man Rina-san was with. I wonder if I can somehow meet him again. He looked scary, but I was introduced to him as a friend of Mi-chan. Mi-chan has a lot of power around here. There's no way he would treat me badly. I wonder if he could tell Rina-san and the man to back off from my father. That helped me a lot. But I didn't know how I could meet him again. I could ask Mi-chan for help, but I don't want her to know about my situation. This is a problem of the Ryugu family. This is nobody's business but mine. Yeah, this is a battle I'd have to fight alone. I regretted my parents' divorce. I wept about the tragedy I could have prevented if I'd tried. I wasn't going to weep this time. I wasn't going to let the chance slip away. This time, I would fight for my happiness. So I wonder, is this all happening at the same time as one of our other stories? I'm almost positive it is, but I'm not exactly sure where, like which story we're meeting up with. The husband in Hinamizawa, that's our achievement for today. I would assume it's the one where we go and eat sweets, because that's like the kind of big thing that's linking us there. We go and eat sweets at Angel Mort, but the story's a little bit different than last time. And so far, most of the stuff's been kind of different. Like there's been that water gun fight that was a little bit different and stuff like that. So I wonder if it's an entirely new story. Or new, like, route, if that makes sense. I don't know. Let's take a look at our tip for today. Property estimate. Dear Ritsuko Mamiya-sama, Executive Housing Corporation. Attached estimate. We thank you for your past visits and inquiries to our office. We've included the estimate of the property you inquired about. Basic information. Property name, Palace of Versailles, room 707. Property code. Property type, modern condominium. Layout, 2LDK. Address, Shishimon City, Kowacho to Kom. Transportation. X line, Gogura Station, 5 minutes on foot. Cost, 49,800,000 yen. Maintenance fee, 20,000 yen. Other, southeast corner room, elevator floor. Condominium fitness club membership included. Thank you for your interest in this property. The area around Gogura Station is a prime real estate zone for luxury condominiums. Along with future planned developments, the real estate values in and around the Gogura Station are expected to rise, and this property is not an exception. As a result, many prospective buyers are interested in this property. Hence, we'd like for you to understand that the selection process for this property will be done via lottery. Also, we also offer celebrity member preferential treatment, granting highly improved chances through additional lottery entries. please feel free to inquire with our agents for more details. Executive Housing Corporation. Celebrity Account Manager, Kawabata. So it looks like she's looking. That value is obviously very close to the 50 million yen that Rina's father has. It's obvious that she's looking for something. Maybe she's trying to get a nice condo somewhere, and she's hoping to take all his money and use it for that. That's my guess, because once she takes all the money and, dumps him or whatever, extorts him out of his money, she's probably going to want a nice place to live for all that work, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. A lot of interesting things happening today. I can definitely say I can't relate to this. This is like way, way whack out there, and I feel bad for Rina. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Higurashi. Bye!